We are back with the Mayor's budget improvement discussions. We're going to have the Office of Emergency Management and Fire give two separate presentations, but we have you both sitting before us now. We'll hear in a second from Chief Ricky White on the fire. I understand right now we're going to hear from Commander Will Swan about Office of Emergency Management. I know that you all have brought some folks with you, so I'm going to let you take a minute and introduce them. But before we get there, I just want to give a shout out. We have Councilmember John Cooper with us. Councilmember Vercher is with us. I also see Mark Young back there from IAFF 140. Good to see you as well. And for the viewing audience at home, just want to remind folks that the requests for funds that we have will far exceed the revenue that we may very well be asked to allocate. So with that in mind, we will, at the end of this process, take those dollars that we have and best allocate it for the Davidson County taxpayers. So, Commander Swan, I think over to you or to Chief who want to do the introductions, and then we'll start with OEM.
I'll just start out. Commander Swan is the Present Director of Operations with the Emergency Operations Center. I mean, not the Emergency Operations Center, Office of Emergency Management, and he's going to deliver this presentation.
Okay, great.
Thanks, Chief. Well, first I want to say good morning to the Mayor and to Rich Riblin with the new look, and to Talia. And I appreciate the opportunity to actually provide the FY18 budget for the Office of Emergency Management. And with me today I have Executive Administrator Drusilla Martin, who's our finance personnel. Behind me I have Chief Jay Survey, who's our Chief Operation Manager. And I have Rodana Robertson, who is our office manager, who sort of keeps us all in line. But with all of this being said, we also have a healthy staff that could not be with us today, and I just want to publicly acknowledge their work and what they do every year, their commitment of full-time and also 38 volunteer personnel that make our office proficient and fluent in what we do.
So, Commander, if you'll do me a favor and start with your operating request, and then we'll move to a capital budget request, which doesn't look like you have one, but let's talk about your operating budget request. Let me just also note for the viewers at home, the Council Member at Large Sharon Hurt has also joined us. Good to see you, Council Member. Right. And we'll back to you, Commander.
Yes, ma'am. Well, thank you. First, I do want to say we did take hard looks at reallocating and reducing our budget. But after doing that, we were not able to do any cuts. But we do appreciate the responsibility that your staff and team have with allocating funds to certain departments. With that being said, our operating budget request this year, due to the growth of the city and the expansion thereof, our main focus will be our dispatch center. Backing a little bit off our ECC, I know they were right before us. Their mission and our mission at Office of Emergency Management is a little different. Their mission, of course, is for 911 center, for 911 calls, which is fast in a hurry. And our mission is more of any calls that require resources or take time. We could be from minutes to hours to even days as far as monitoring. We have a 24-hour, 365, 7-day-a-week dispatch center that's only, at this point in time, managed by 4 personnel, which is really incredibly impossible to do on a normal basis. We use our administration staff to try to help cover with the dispatching, and that becomes very overtaxing. It prevents people from doing their job efficiently. So I would really request and hope that we can we're asking for 2 dispatchers at $33,000 times 2 plus the fringe will make it 102.100. If we get those dispatchers, that will put us where we need to be as far as be able to handle the call volumes and also to be able to handle with people being off sick, FMLA or vacations, anything of this unforeseen nature that happens on a daily basis. Also, we're asking for a planner/responder, and what this does is going to help us with the training and planning exercises that is needed, and also on scene for special events and coordination and planning with that as well. This will help us be able to get more into community and give services that are needed that we're sort of lagging on due to the again the busting of the seams of trying to cover one area with staff members that really shouldn't be doing that. So if we can get that planner/responder, that's going to really help us out. Also, we're asking for, in our dive operations, we are asking to have one full-time diver on staff for OEM at a salary of $58,000 plus the fringe, which will make this $82,700. If we can, all this will do, when we start talking about diving operations, we understand it's for recovery, but what it gives is closure to families. And a lot of times you can be on the scene, and sometimes it takes up to an hour to maybe 2 hours to get divers into the water. And it's a very methodical procedure, but again, if we had that full-time staff, it would help cut down on that. Operating supplies, we are asking for $18,000, and what this will do is help with just getting training for our personnel and equipment. And also, when we do operate our EOC Operations Center, we also have to provide food for the parties that are there. Education and training materials, we're asking for $5,000. And what this does is our community outreach, where we'll be able to do a lot of the training with the universities, churches, other community groups as our CERT program, which stands for Community Response Training Teams. And if we can get this, it just better helps prepare in the universities or whoever how to respond to emergencies more properly.
And I see you also have a grant here with the grant, and then what you're asking for, the offset, you're really only asking for about 40,000. Is that right?
Yes, you're talking about for the supplies and.
Well, you've got a grant adjustment here. I'm not sure, is that different?
Yes,
Okay.
it is.
So talk to me about what that is.
Well,
Okay, that's basically an accounting adjustment to the grant that you see on the front page.
I see.
244,600. That particular grant will be running out at the end of June this year. And however, we also have 3 more grants coming right up the rear that would just pass through council.
So,
They're about
and those-
$1.5 million.
And those grants, though, will pick up the lag of the other grants, so it'll be net.
Well,
net.
the grant in particular that picks up the lag to our operating budget is the EMPG grant. So we just got that one passed through the council as well.
Okay.
and that's
Right, so it's just, so
and
it's,
that's our emergency management performance grant. And with that grant, if you look at our current budget, we are on point to meet our current budget with that EMPG grant. So that will subsidize for what we're lacking to make us,
Budget.
to make it for the operating budget.
any questions about that? And with no capital budget requests.
Right. We're
Anything-
hoping to piggyback off our ECC.
Right, so let's talk about that for a second, since we just had ECC. One of the recommendations was to co-locate in a new facility, OEM as well, and that would be something that you all would be amenable
Oh,
to.
absolutely. Michelle and I, we spoke about this, and it only makes sense to have everybody together. I mean, so we're hoping to actually piggyback with them. So, and again, in closing, we do appreciate and understand, as we said earlier, the requests that are made by all the infrastructure, but we do hope that we are considered this year in trying to make some of these adjustments.
I do have one question.
Yes, ma'am.
I think you'll know what it is, but how do you anticipate the hub implementation impacting your call volume?
Well, and speaking about the hub, I think it's a great program that came up throughout your office.
Yep.
I don't really feel like it will affect us as much because of the hub being more of an informational tool versus when you start talking about the Office of Emergency Management, we take calls from A to Z, and again, it could be anything from overturned tankers to individuals, missing individuals, to any call that require resources is what we deal with. So I don't really think that the hub will affect us much at all, but I do think it will be beneficiary to the city.
One of the requests from Michelle was to also co-locate potentially the hub into that facility, so just thinking about that, everybody's together.
Yeah, it'd be great. I think, and in closing, for us, this primarily, when we look at just our dispatch center, and I know that Rich Riblin, he's came over a couple of times, I know once, and looked at our center. For us, it's just, if we can complete and get the proper personnel to manage our dispatch center, that would be such a relief, Mayor, on us as far as morale and also giving proper coverage. I feel like my work is not in vain if we can get that accomplished.
I've been over there too, I get it.
Yes, absolutely.
Good.
I think we're good for that. Let's move to talk about fire.
Absolutely.
And if you guys want to change places, that's totally fine. Chief, good to see you.
Good to see you, Mayor.
And is there anybody here that you need to point out that has also joined you? I think.
Yeah, in the back here, we have, first of all, our union president, Mark Young, president of IFL Local 140. We try to work in conjunction with each other, not against each other. Most of the time, that works out. Also, I have behind me, of course, you've already heard from Commander Will Swan. Have Deputy Director Steve Holt, Chief of Operations, that includes fire and EMS. Commander Robbie McAllister. Of course, to my right here, I have Miss Leanne Burchell. We have the Assistant Finance Manager, Miss Gina Gibbs, in the back. And let me look, make sure I have Brian Haas. He's going to be with us a little while longer, but he's our Public Information Officer. So those are some of the people that I brought with me. All right, Mayor Berry, Chief Operating Officer Reebling, Finance Director Ms. Lomax O'Neill. Really want to thank you for the opportunity to come here today and have a conversation with you and tell the fire department story. Throughout this conversation, we're going to go back to where we came from, where we are, and hopefully where we're going to be after this budget cycle begins. Hopefully. But before I get into the nuts and bolts of that, I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge the most important employees in the Nashville Fire Department, and those are the boots on the street, our firefighters, our paramedics, our EMTs, men and women of all races, creeds, and colors. If it were not for those folks, I know they would not need a director chief of the Nashville Fire Department. So all the hard work that gets done, they do it, and they have my undying thanks for that. As I propose significant elements of our prospective budget, I remember a story that a former chief once told me. He's told several other people this same story. And he was meeting with a civic group and going over our mission statement. If you don't mind, I'm going to take about 30 seconds and read this pretty long and lofty mission statement. The mission of the Nashville Fire Department is to provide high-quality fire, medical, and rescue emergency responses and community support services to citizens and visitors within Nashville and Davidson County so they can work, reside in a community where an all-hazard response minimizes harm to life, property, and the environment. He was going over this with a civic group, and a lady raised her hand and had a question. She said, you know, your mission statement confuses me. All I really want out of the fire department is when I need help, it's good help fast. So, you know, these are, a mission statement obviously is a philosophical statement, a philosophical goal and everything. Hopefully we meet it each and every day. But I like condensing this down to the real nexus of why we exist. Good help fast. Right now we got good help and we get there as fast as we can. Hopefully with some of these improvements we're going to have a little bit more good help and get there a little bit faster. And there's many aspects that response time tie into as far as homeowners insurance rates, you know, quality of life, obviously, keeping small fires small and getting people to a hospital in a timely manner. But anyway, in 3 simple words, she truly defined, once again, what we really need to be doing. I feel like the department is in line with several of your focus points for this city, especially 2 in particular, the educational outcomes in youth. Now, this will be expanded in our public investment plan presentation, which Chief Swan will deliver. But basically, it's establishing a mentoring program with juniors in high school, seniors in high school, and offering them options through the Tennessee Promise to actually get pre-credentialed to either be a firefighter, a paramedic, or an EMT. But I'm going to leave that at that because we've got another presentation coming on it. And then lastly, public safety, and of course that's what we're all about. And in the next few minutes I'll talk about that in a little bit more length. The principal components of the FY18 request continue to focus on this very basic mission in many ways, specifically our request addresses emergency medical services. Now, in emergency medical services, we're requesting $2,784,000 to accommodate the hiring of 22 FTEs, full-time employees, in the form of paramedics and EMTs. Now, this also includes a number of approximately $942,000 for 2 medics that we put in last fiscal year, but were not fully funded. So I'd like to get those medic units fully funded, and at the same time put 2 more on the street.
And Chief, talk me through this. Why is this beneficial? If I have an emergency medical team as opposed to what some people, a fire team, how is that different? If I'm a viewing public, why is that important?
Well, it used to be an old joke when I was growing up about cleaning people that didn't do windows. Well, we don't do transports in the fire suppression end of it, and that's the real basis of it. That, along with the specialized equipment that's carried on these medic units. But any type of medical situation, especially ones involving strokes, cardiovascular disease, and things like that, we operate within this golden hour. If we can get somebody to have critical help at a hospital, local hospital emergency room, their chances of recovery are exponentially greater than if we go over that golden hour. So that's kind of what we live by right there. So, once again, it gets back to the good, help, fast, and I'm going to say that, I guess, till I bore you with it.
So with this additional increase, does that mean that we are rolling less of our heavy fire equipment, so we're saving on that wear and tear?
We're saving on some wear and tear.
And so, but I'm just rolling an ambulance unit, I'm not rolling all the fire equipment?
We'll still be rolling a fire engine. Now, we've got other plans that we're not presenting in the budget to kind of reduce the wear and tear on those engines, but it's going to require some additional personnel and some more light fleet vehicles. But we're not talking about that today. But now a great emphasis has always been put in since I became interim. I guess that was FY14. On to the present day is to try to save the life expectancy or extend the life expectancy years-wise of our heavy rolling stock.
Right, so I'm asking is this addition going to somehow help with that?
It's going to help with it, right. I mean, it's going to be the case that a lot of times, if we get enough ambulances here. Right now, an ambulance usually arrives after an engine company. Now, this past FY, we had a 10% increase in transports. And you got to have the transport mechanism in order to make those transports. Now, there's a pragmatic side of that as well. The heaviest revenue stream that the fire department presents to local government is going to come in the form of transport fees that we charge for people that we do transport.
And that was a conversation I know that we had last year during the budget conversation, getting our arms around, making sure that billing was happening. Has that improved?
I'm going to let Ms. Hager answer that, yes. We're very pleased with the way things are going now.
Okay. You want to just take a minute and just talk about that?
Sure. Our EMS billing division, we have a staff of 3 fantastic billing clerks along with a manager who have done an excellent job in getting all the run tickets caught up and current. They're going to the billing company and the revenue is coming in quickly, and we're very pleased with that. We're on target to exceed our budget this year, but we're looking at approximately a $1 million excess of revenue.
Any questions on
That's
that?
good.
Just since we're, okay.
That's good.
So going back then, I know that last year we added
2.
Well, we added significant ambulances
Right.
to the fleet. So, again, just trying to get my arms around this idea of minimizing and the fire equipment and maximizing the transit, since that's what you're doing, and trying to think about these 22 FTEs as somehow helping with that.
And I'll make it a short answer on that. Yes, ma'am, it will help with that, but there's other mechanisms that are going to have to happen, which we can provide without additional funding to make that happen.
Okay.
So this has how many units? This will add another?
Right now, we presently have 28 what I consider static ambulances. Those are ambulances in the street 24/7, 365. This will bump us up to 30. And next year, when I come back, if we get these, I'm going to ask for 2 more.
And the idea being but the reason why the equipment has to go to a lot of the emergency calls is the fire equipment, because the ambulances are transporting people to the hospitals or something.
Right.
So they're out of service for that purpose, and so someone has to get there.
Yeah, we're not quite at the point yet, but in the past, the reason why we started having fire engines and fire trucks and all our different sorts of heavy equipment responding to this is because, when this management team came on board prior to FY14, we had 19 units in the field. Well, it was always the fact that a heavy piece of fire equipment was going to get there first. So that was our preemptive strike to get immediate medical care there, then wait for the ambulance to come. Right now, we're starting to get the med units on top of that, so we can do some scaling down on that. In certain instances, we'll have to change our run call alignment and things like that, but we can take care of that.
6 FTEs for fire prevention. Let's talk about the rest of the FTE requests.
Okay, the 6 additional fire inspectors, I got some information codes. I think 2015, there was like $2.8 billion plus in permits, equating to 12,389 permits. This year, looking like you're projecting about $4 billion, a little bit more than that. And every time a permit is issued, the fire department has to take some part in that permitting process.
Now, would this be the fire marshal?
This will be fire prevention, the fire marshal, yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you're asking for 6 new FTEs for the fire marshal?
Yes, and one thing I want to say, this, growth is driving this, but, if Nashville stopped growing today, there would still be the need for these 6 additional inspectors. I mean, there's state requirements on so many occupancies within this city that have to be inspected, and I'm talking about a thorough inspection yearly. There's other occupancies that fall into a biannual type of inspection ratio, but it's not like you go out and inspect a property and the fire marshal is done.
So it's not just about new facilities, it's also just continuing to inspect the ones that are already
Right.
online
Yeah.
over time? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And we did add some for the current year to deal with that growth.
Yeah, I think we
How
picked.
many was it
I
that
think
we
we picked up
funded
2.
this year?
2?
Picked up 2, yes.
So this would be in addition to that? Okay. And then talk to me about the 53 FTEs for fire suppression.
Okay, yeah, fire suppression, we're requesting $4.77 million for additional 53 FTEs. Now, $2.5 million of this plus would come in the form of 33 additional firefighters. As you well know, better than I do probably, we have a general services tax district and an urban services tax district. The general services areas are protected by what we call our 30 series companies. This is going to be engine 30 through engine 39. Those pieces of equipment, just like most of our heavy stock nowadays due to lack of firefighter staffing, are periodically or just about every day in, day out, staffed with 3 individuals: an engineer driver, an officer in charge, and a firefighter. Now, there's a lot of driving federal regulations that we do not have the option of disregarding. And you've heard this before, I'm sure. 2 in and 2 out is one of those. It's specified under Title 29, Code of Federal Regulations. I can cite the exact quote and everything from there. But what this says is anytime a firefighter enters an immediately dangerous to life and health atmosphere, and it's just assumed through federal court documentation and rulings, that anytime you have a significant fire incident, it's a IDLH atmosphere. It requires that 2 firefighters go in as a team, no less than 2. You could have more than that. But also you have to have 2 in a backup status outside of the structure while they're fighting the fire. And what we're proposing with these 33 additional firefighters, that is going to give us the staffing necessary to keep those 30 series companies staffed with 4. So at least in theory, we can conform to the federal regulations. It's also proposed in NFPA consensus standards and stuff like that, but if you need further information, I can get you the correct citation on that. But that's what we're wanting to do with that. And another thing about the 30 series companies, as opposed to some of the urban services companies, like in the downtown area, a lot of times their help is very far behind them. And this is a real emphasis because, first of all, we got to take care of the safety of our people on duty. And second of all, you know, if we can keep small fires small by getting in there in a timely fashion, or we can get to a victim that's trapped by fire quicker and possibly save their life, that's what this is all about, is asking for that extra staffing.
So where did the other 20 FTEs come from in that request?
All right, well, 15 of them, we're proposing not this year, but next year to have an additional fire station built, probably in, I can't give you the exact location now, but it's going to be in the Hermitage Priest Lake area. We've had some exponential growth out there, and insurance rates are affected by this through our ISO ratings and stuff like that, but that
Is that
would
a
be...
GSD?
That would be a GSD, yes. And we're proposing to put that additional fire station out there. I think it's been close to 20 years since we added an additional fire company in the Nashville Fire Department. But
We've built new fire facilities, but you're
Right.
saying that we haven't added a new company?
haven't added a new company, and this would require capital-wise probably about $4 million for the new facility, not this year, but next year. And if I were you, I'd be asking, why do you want to hire these guys in this FY?
I'm asking it. You can answer it.
Yeah.
But I guess I'm just psychic.
You are.
But anyway, it's a very long training regime to get these folks ready to go out on the street. Now, May 16th, we're going to start approximately 34 people. Hopefully that many get through the pre-approval process to start our training academy. And that's probably going to be about an 8-month regime. Now, if we can get this additional company put into place by the next FY, that will give us time to hire these folks, get them through that. And when you consider all the time it takes to get them ready, you know, as far as physicals and things like that are concerned, you're probably looking at a 9 or 10 month lag before you hire these folks and get them out in the field.
What kind of attrition do you have, or retirements on the horizon when we think about, you've got a total right now of 1,200 or so FTEs. I don't know how many of those break down as administrative versus
Right.
folks who are actually in the field, but how many folks, what does that look like? I mean, we're taking our first fire class since 2010.
Right. Right now, I believe, and I'm just calling this off of memory, I can get you the exact figures. I think we're looking at about 46% of the department in the field that are eligible to retire. That means they've got 25 years of service and they're 53 years old. Now, a lot of people don't leave on that target date, or that's not their target date more specifically. But we do have those eligible, and you know, we've done a lot of promotions now, but that's in anticipation of people leaving. I mean, our PIO, he's not field personnel. He's going to be leaving March 31st. Chief Holt is going to be leaving us on April 12th. And even though that's an admin position, well, you're bringing somebody up from the field, and you got to replace that person in the field.
Well, Chief Holt. Okay. I know,
I'm sorry.
okay.
All right. Anything else relative to that subject?
Any other questions on that?
No. Did you want to speak to any of your support
Support functions, those 9 FTEs for support?
Well, we're looking at, you know, bundled in that $4.77 million, we're looking at 2 special operations firefighters, and what they would be assigned to our special operations groups. Now, everybody knows the trends in fires have been going down a little bit, but the trends in specific rescue situations, hazardous material responses have gone up. Now, hazmat and a lot of those rescue situations are kind of similar to prevention in the form that you go out and inspect facilities. You know, you make sure that you know what products they have, how to handle those products. So it's a pretty labor-intensive activity. And plus, anytime we set up for a special event or something like that, we always have our hazmat group with us to do, you know, air quality monitoring, not air quality, but just air monitoring, real-time air monitoring to make sure that nobody has released an agent that could cause harm to a citizen.
Any other conversation about operating capital? Let's shift to capital. Let's talk about your capital requests.
All right. Right now, we're looking for $10 million out of capital for a continuation of the master plan, which is, for the most part, you know, rebuilding dilapidated or out of service, soon to be out of service fire stations. And generally, we've been on board with about 3 a year for that. We're also looking, if you get really in-depth into the budgets, you know, we just built a great training tower for our
Yep.
training facility. But, you know, it makes the rest of the academy look like a sow's ear. And I'm not really caring about looks, but I'm talking about hygiene purposes, lack of showering facilities, gender-specific showering facilities for new recruits and things like that, or even people coming down there and doing in-service training. So we got some drastic overhauls to make there, and that facility was built, I think, in 1984.
Were you there?
Chief Anderson was.
Okay,
I
just
was.
checking.
I was.
You were there.
Okay. Also, we're looking for $6.3 million for heavy fleet. This is going to be our ambulances, fire engines, fire trucks, aerial devices, rescue devices. Basically, anything that runs on diesel fuel comes into that category. Diesel fuel more than 4 wheels. And then one thing that I'm really wanting us to get is a point of capture exhaust system for our
And talk
fire
about that
stations.
and why that's so important for the health of our firefighters. I think
Okay,
it's-
well, let me give the big picture first. First of all, every firefighter in the state of Tennessee, as in so many other states, fall under a state presumptive cancer law. And what that law says, basically, if you get cancer and you're a firefighter, it's presumed to be a job-related chronic exposure ailment. And I won't go into the numbers on specific cancers, but even within the Nashville Fire Department, our cancer rates pretty much are in line with what's projected nationally for fire department cancer rates. Long story short there, they have cancer incidence much higher than the general population. We do everything we can to protect our guys and girls out on the scene. State-of-the-art SCBA, state-of-the-art fire clothing, things like that. But
But this
you know,
is
when
actually in the firehouse.
yeah, I was going to say, when we get, and I don't know this for sure, but it's just, when they get back to that station, they ought to be as safe there as anywhere. And, you know, in the wintertime especially, people don't want to let the heat out. They keep the doors closed and stuff like that. But you have to start these pieces of equipment every day, check them out, and make sure for the next call they're going to be ready to go. So that's what this is all about. And personally, you know, we do everything we can to protect people in emergency situations. I'm talking about our employees now. Well, you know, let's protect them so after they retire, they can have a cancer-free life, or at least one not based upon their service in the fire service.
Go do every hall?
Yes.
Do you want to talk about this fire hall right over here?
Well, there's funds for that one. We're just still looking for a location.
For
I think, on
location,
the
just so that-
fire hall
Right.
too.
Yep.
Sure.
I mean, that's the problem there's been location, trying to find a spot.
Right.
I'm not sure where that, any new.
Well, you know, we've already found a spot for the Bellevue station, but that's a very good thing, and we're going to get to keep those guys in that station while we're building a new one, which saves us probably about $300,000 in temporary housing. It's going to be right next to the old station. We're going to have good access, and we're very excited about that. And we're finalizing the matter of Station 32, which is out in Hermitage. Now, I've asked for another station in subsequent years, FYs, for another station out in the Hermitage area. But one thing we're trying to do in the meantime is, you know, we draw 1.5 mile and 5 mile radius circles around these stations. And what we want to do ideally is to make sure that that fire station is in the center of the highest volume in their territory, because that's going to help on insurance rates, it's going to help on timely responses. So we're actually going to relocate to Station 32 a little bit farther south so we can accomplish or accommodate the highest call volume that they'll be responding to. It's going to be good for the taxpayers, it's going to be good for the fire department. And I won't go back into the other station we want to build out there, but it's going to be necessary as well.
Anything else? you've got?
Yeah, I always want to talk about revenue. So I want you to, if you could just briefly talk about this ambulance supplemental payment option that's floating out there that we're researching now, because there's a potential to really bring in some new money.
Right.
A brand-new revenue source to the city if we can either, I'm not sure where it stands, if we've determined whether or not that's going to require some state legislation, or if it's just TennCare administrative rule in order to implement. And some of the Ambulance Association, I don't know the formal name of it, has been actually doing some work up on the Hill to try to track this. So if you can kind of summarize what the issue is and kind of where we think we stand on it right now, I think that would be helpful.
The Tennessee Ambulance Association has been championing some legislation on the Hill.
Can you move the mic a little closer
Sorry,
to yourself?
to get this supplemental payment in structure off the ground. I know there is a bill on the Hill. I don't know exactly where it sits right now, whether it's made it to committee or whatnot, but there will be a formula set up so that the participating entities pay in X amount of dollars for each transport they make, so that you would be able to get reimbursed for amounts over the cap that you're receiving. Potentially, if all of the counties participate, there could be a huge payback. It is contingent upon the participants and the formula structure.
Well, and who would be paying that?
Insurance.
The counties pay in a certain percentage based upon their transports, and there's been some ambiguity as to whether this is going to be just based on Medicaid or whether it will be Medicaid and Medicare that you can get reimbursement on. So if both are players
So
in
there
it,
may be a fund that we can get reimbursed from.
there would be a fund. The state would contribute X amount.
Got it.
The feds would contribute a certain amount. Last I heard, it hadn't been finalized as to whether it would be just Medicaid or both.
But there have been some other cities and states throughout the
Yes.
country that have been able to recoup millions of dollars.
Yes.
Okay, well,
By being really aggressive on
Yes.
this.
great, well,
The potential
there'll
is
be some
certainly there.
opportunity for
Yes.
us to get some additional revenue. Great.
Yes. So
Along
thank you,
this same
Leanne.
line, is there any ability to adjust the revenue estimates for next year based on the fact that we're going to be collecting the $1 million?
I think that
Right.
she's-
Not
I
on
think
this
she's taken it-
legislation.
You've
but,
taken that into account, haven't you?
Correct. The increase that you're seeing in the current year is a result of the hard efforts of our manager, Laura Faust, her staff, Keela, Sharon, and Sandra, and I'm remiss because I neglected to include the 2 EMS folks that are on loan to us, helping us with some of the medical components. They have worked so diligently to get all of those tickets caught up, so we saw a huge cash influx over the first
So that's
3 to 4
catch-up of
months.
last time.
Correct.
So is the projection then that we will continue to see that $1 million of revenue flow in?
No, it was a one-time
So what is the pro-
increase, and it
So what's our
should,
The
projections on
budget
going over
estimates are
time?
flat.
they're flat.
it's flat.
And
Okay.
there, and that was also, I also recommended leaving them flat because with the presidential election, we were a little uncertain what would happen with any potential Obamacare changes, Medicaid, Medicare changes. So we didn't want to overinflate your revenue estimates and not be able to fulfill those obligations.
So it's likely we may see that actually go down. Okay. All right.
It'll stay in line with budget, but the current year, you're going to get that one-time cash infusion.
All right, great.
Yeah.
Chief, anything else you want to add?
Well, I know you had requested that we look at legacy programs, reallocation of resources, and I'm prepared to talk a little bit about that, but I want to make a simple statement. We were reallocating resources when reallocation wasn't cool. We started this in FY14 when I was just an interim and the whole command staff was used. We're all in on this. As you know, I think we lost 67 employees. 67 employees retired to a prior bout with that. We took the very high-paying salaries. We reduced the numbers of the people getting high pay. We reduced the salaries number based on people coming into a step that they were just starting out in. And basically, what we did through that attrition is we put 4 additional ambulances on the street. We went from 19 to 23 without any additional funding. Now, we reallocated some resources other ways. We added one full-time administrative services officer to serve as our PIO. We added 3 part-time administrative services officers for our maintenance section, to help us with recruitment, and also to be a liaison with the insurance services organization so we can stay in line and get the maximum credit a fire department can get, based upon the rules of engagement, how many people we have, and the whole banana there. We had one full-time and one part-time arson investigator. And right now, our arson investigators, I think they got about a 40% hit rate, which is very, very high as far as arrest and conviction, very high nationwide. We had one full-time IT analyst to help us with mobile technology, and that's one of the discrepancies we had when this whole management team came on board. We knew that we were sadly lacking in our IT aspect of the job. And that's one of the things, that's one of the pillars that we've built on. Miss Birchall, I called her Hager earlier, but that's her other name. Miss Birchall has been instrumental in taking care of that. So I just want to let you know that we have looked at it, and if there was anything else to reallocate, we would be doing it.
Great, I appreciate that. Thank you for that rundown. Anything else?
Good, thank you, Chief.
Anything else?
No,
We
thank
appreciate
you
you.
all.
Thank you all for coming. Appreciate you all
Thank you.
for being here.